stories that have made headlines, because some of them are in the dailies, and we'll keep referring to the dailies. And now that we are on this NASA and the fact that ODM has already begun their primaries, let's look at the coverage that we have had so far of the primaries. And this, of course, started last week, Thursday, continuing yesterday. Today, there was meant to be some more primaries, but they have been cancelled. Let me start with you, Eric, in terms of how we have covered this and how we've brought out the story of what's going on in Mashinani.
Yeah, I think the media has done a good job. Starting last week when the primaries began for the ODM, I could see different media, I was actually television stations on site trying to...
Those present.
Exactly. Giving us live coverage what is happening there. We've seen the media making follow-ups, going to Orange House, trying to find out, telling Kenyans what is happening, raising the issues that have been raised by the candidates or by the aspirants who are vying for various positions. And I think so far the media has done a good job, because the media is just a mirror in the society. We are just supposed to sit there and see that, okay, this is what is happening on the ground. We know we've had the issues to do with violence, and again, of course, the politicians will always say that the media. I read somewhere yesterday where somebody was complaining that the media only concentrates on the negative. But that is what is happening. So I sometimes ask myself, if there is violence, where are we going to get peace?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, they already have violence there. So
but now,
exactly.
Eric, when you talk about the media having done a good job in terms of that coverage, there is the live coverage. There's what is happening, and that's happening, and it's organic. It literally just, we cover what is happening. But by now, we're already on day 4, I think, or 5 of the primaries. Should we already be looking at a little bit more deeper analysis of why, first of all, there's violence, why there's areas as to, there seems to be favorites, there are areas where they're using the IEBC register, there are areas where they don't have it. Should we already be bringing that down the headlines?
Absolutely. It's an important issue, Mike, that you have raised. And I've always said that when it comes to electoral process or electoral management, we need to have found some sort of good standing as stakeholders. As you said, media is one of the stakeholders. And when you look at where we are getting it wrong, as I said before, and I said this in our opening sort of contribution, that the electoral laws that we are operating under are really stringent in the sense that they are really restricting us through a very narrow path. And until we demystify and, demystify further the laws, is when we are likely to see, the playground coming a little bit more friendly. Because as we are talking right now, it's very hostile, especially in areas which are perceived to be strongholds of ODM and the Jubilee. Other areas, maybe issues are not that, hectic. But for the areas perceived to be strongholds of Jubilee and ODM, it's chaotic, Mike.
All right, Gadara, your thoughts on the coverage
again,
so far?
my constant criticism of the press is that they will focus on the form of what's happening and not the substance of it. I think the question you asked about why the violence is happening is very pertinent. I think we need to go back and look. Lots of it is driven, I think, by the fact that people don't have credible mechanisms, that the people believe in, if you will, to deliver a credible result. And this is the same thing that's mirrored at the national level. And I think what we should be asking right now is what are the lessons we are learning now from the nomination process that will then tell us something about how we carry out the proper election in August. How will that be informed, etc. So if we are already seeing potentials for violence now, what are the what's the wider potential for violence in August, and what's being done to mitigate that? I don't think we should be waiting till the election is upon us for us to start revisiting the issues that were being raised a few months ago about the system we're going to use, about the credibility of the IEBC, about the systems they've put in place to ensure that the election is free and fair. So I think in that sense, I would say that the media kind of is behind the curve for that. Yes, they will report, as he said, it's true, they will be there on the ground saying this and this happened, but it's actually what it means and what lessons we should carry forward. It's more than just being a mirror to society. It's actually pointing out these are the things that are important for you to take care of before they become really huge problems. The other thing is with the coalitions that are being formed, etc. now, There's lots of talk about it being representative and bringing in other communities, etc. Again, it elides a discussion of policies. There is nothing, even when Ruto joins NASA, it is, what is he bringing on board as a policy? What is the platform? The whole idea of your primaries should be not just to pick a candidate, but to also to solidify a platform. But people aren't out there campaigning on the basis of a platform, and that is the.
But from our perspective, that's the way it should be. But from our perspective as media, really, the political class has projected just individuals and personalities as opposed to policies and issues. So really, for us, what we can do is,
well, it's a point like that. I think for me, the political class might want to set its own agenda. But it's actually the media that should be setting the agenda for the country.
I mean, look at the case of
what matters.
During the